Whiteout Promise. The night the Charles. Forgot the roads. The plow blade threw a comet of ice. My radio snapped to life. And a steady voice on hospital ops, one I didn't know yet, said my name like a guardrail. Dylan, do not block the MGH ambulance bay. Bring them to Blossom Street lower door. I'll have warmers and ketone strips now. I'm Dylan O'Rourke, 30, snowplow foreman for the city of Cambridge, the guy in the orange jacket who turns Mass Ave from a rumor back into a road. My office is a Western Pro Blade bolted to a half-retired pickup that smells like brine and coffee. I swear I'll stop drinking after midnight and never do. People think storm nights are about metal and willpower. They're also about maps, timing, and not blocking the one door with a life behind it. The forecast had said classic nor'easter, pressure bombing out off Cape Ann, easterly fetch, heavy banding, thunder snow rumored like gossip. By 9:40 p.m., the Longfellow looked like a salt shaker had been bored. By 10:15, Somerville Ave was a white tunnel. By 11, the state plows were barking at the sky and I was running Priority 1, hospitals, firehouses, bus corridors, bridges. The Mass General MGH OPS patch lit my radio, braided into city EOC, EMS, police, and my plow district. A new voice rode the channel, clean, warm, not theatrical. Dylan O'Rourke? This is Evan Park, inpatient pharmacist on MGH storm team. Ambulance bay is icing over and ketone strips are walking off toward urgent care. If you pull a windrow across Blossom, I'll lose oxygen deliveries. Use Fruit Street. I'll put a tech at the door with grit. Bring any walk-ins you peel off the bridge to Lower Blossom. I've got warmers, glucose, and hot packs. He said my name like a guardrail. There whether you deserved it or not. Copy, pharmacy, I said. I'll keep Blossom open like it's church, but the truly shocking part hadn't happened yet. The band set up over the Charles like it had a residency. Snow came down silver and sideways. The plow sang its metal hymn. I ran a clean pass past Kendall, through salt, and watched the crystals knuckle into water and then conviction. At Longfellow, a Prius sat sideways like it had made a choice. Behind it, 2 students tried to push physics uphill with sneakers. I nudged the windrow aside with a hip of steel and waved them to the sidewalk. MGH Lower Blossom, warmers and scents. Go now. They nodded with the honest eyes of people whose parents live far away tonight. EOC came over. Blizzard warning extended. MBTA above ground shut. EMS ETA stretched. MGH requests continuous blossom fruit clearance. Copy, I said, and felt the snow do that Boston thing where it becomes your coworker and your boss. I thought my night was metal and salt. But nor'easters right in lungs and labs, and the next call bent the route toward breath. Cambridge Plow 12, the radio said, Evan again. We've got a type 1 diabetic couple stuck at Charles Circle, blood sugar 52, ketones moderate on a urine strip. They're on foot heading toward Blossom with socks in hands. Can you carve a shoulder between Fruit and Blossom for EMS to meet them? On it, I said, grabbed third gear and let the blade ride the crown of the street like it owned the deed. I took Fruit tight, threw the windrow east into the median to spare the sidewalk, and chewed a lane down to wet pavement. 2 silhouettes, hood up, hands purple, materialized in the haze. I stopped, hazards a breathing lighthouse, and opened the passenger door. In. We're breaking rules so you can break the right ones. The man climbed in. Woman leaned on the frame like pride had 30 seconds left. I slid glucose gel from the console. Plow drivers pick up habits from medics, and he swallowed like a person who'd decided to keep negotiating. At Lower Blossom, Evan was there, Korean-American, early 30s. Navy scrub top under a storm parka. MGH badge on a lanyard, headlamp fixed at kind brightness. He didn't hesitate. He counted respirations with his eyes, handed off to an ED nurse, then looked at me like a person who has adjusted 1,000 doses and still believes in people. You okay? He asked, like it was protocol and also a gift. I keep being, I said. Me too, he said, and we both nodded like that was the chalk line we'd run tonight. Cliffhanger. A security guard hustled over with a sentence that changes routes. A stuck ambulance on the Longfellow ramp. Snow up to hubcaps. They've got a patient they can't move in this wind. EOC, I said, routing to Longfellow ramp. Need BPD at Charles Circle to hold civilians while I backdrag. Approved, I hit the ramp nose first, then dropped the blade and practiced patience. Backdrag 5 feet, salt, forward, repeat. The ambulance rocked, wheels whispering no traction. I laid a salt carpet, hopped out with shovel and grit, and the EMT, Southie accent, eyes tired, grinned like morale had calories. Together we carved one tire's destiny, then the other's. The rig bit, moved, breathed. The patient inside lifted a hand, a silhouette of thanks. "Dylan?" Evan's voice in my ear again. "You're magic. But do me a favor. Do not stack a windrow across Parkman Street. We've got a blood product run coming from Beacon Hill and they'll curse your grandchildren. Copy. No Parkman wall." He laughed once, warm in a way that felt like shelter. I figured my biggest enemy was snow, but Boston keeps subplots under its bricks, and the next request braided my blade to his badge. "Pharmacy to EOC," Evan said. "We need a cleared path from Whittier Place. Home dialysis patient power out, fluid overload risk. EMS is tied up. If Plow 12 can escort, I can meet with portable O2 and IV start if ED cosigns. EOC, approved. Dylan, you're clearing and escorting. Stay on Blossom Fruit Corridor priority." I toggled the wing on the blade, opened 2 shoulders, and made Whittier a promise. A man in a parka waved from beneath a sign that looked embarrassed by the weather. He had that Boston defiance you almost love when it isn't in your lane. We moved him slow, steady, breathing in 6 counts because Evan told us to. At Lower Blossom, Evan met us with O2 and calm you could stack boxes on. He doesn't ask, "Can I?" He asks what first, and then does. "You okay?" He asked me again 2 breaths later. I keep being. Me too. Lightning cracked over the river, thunder snow, and the world flashed white on white. In that bright, I saw what makes foremen mutter prayers, a windrow I'd thrown across Cambridge Street, now glaciated by sleet, tall enough to mock a fire engine. I backed in, dropped the blade, bit, lifted, salted, repeated. 2 passes later, Cambridge Street breathed. EMS rolled through without having to make a sermon about it. My radio hissed with EOC thanks that sounded like, "Yes, keep doing that. Wait, don't miss this detail." Back at the lower door, volunteers had turned a hallway into a mitten library, pairing gloves like librarians shelve hope. Someone wheeled in a cart of hot packs. Another labeled coolers with names and units like they were beloved children. An internal medicine resident asked Evan if he'd seen ketone strips in the RAFOR. He handed her a box without looking because he runs his inventory like a symphony, and he knows where every instrument sits in the dark. A mom came in holding a toddler with a barky cough, croup night voice. Evan built a steam castle in triage with a humidifier and towels like your grandmother would, and the child's breath negotiated from panic to possible. He checked the mom. "You okay?" he asked. She said no and yes and thank you, which in Boston translates to, "I'll bring you cookies in March." I thought we'd found a rhythm. Blade, salt, breath, but nor'easters like a coda. And the next call drafted us both into a single sentence. EOC, came the patch. Beacon Hill Alley behind Phillips blocked by private Plow windrow. Home health nurse stuck with IV antibiotics for a post-op. Can Plow 12 assist? BPD will hold traffic. En route, the alley was a postcard of bad choices. Brownstones, ironwork, a snow wall that looked like a cake no one should have frosted. I gave the blade a shave cut, lifts, feathers, taps, not tearing up anyone's decorative paving, just giving physics another chance. The nurse, face set, bag clutched, lifted a glove in salute and sprinted the last 30 feet like a gold medal mundane hero. "You okay?" Evan said over the patch when I reported clear. "I keep being," I said. "Me too. Also, do not wall fruit eastbound. Blood bank sending a runner on foot. Copy." The radio tried to be casual. Harvard Bridge, the Smoot reports spinouts. Peds attempting to walk in roadway. Any Plow with eyes near Mass Ave? That's our artery. I cut across Main, took Mass Ave like a promise and saw them. 3 undergrads in thin jackets, laughter doing bravado. I rolled up, window down, voice set to kind authority. "Get in the bed. I'll take you to Memorial Drive and you'll walk the rest on the sidewalk. Tonight we don't collect headlines." They piled in, giggling at the cold and the weirdness, and I dropped them where sidewalk still meant safe. It was 2:10 a.m. when the wind forgot how to be cocky. Snow softened from pellets to confessions. I did the Blossom Fruit Circuit for the 20th time and found Evan outside under the lower door awning. Clipboard tucked against chest, breath in clouds, eyes still alive. He stepped closer without touching like Boston requires you to earn the inch. "We held it," he said. "It held us," I said. He smiled with the side of his mouth that tells the truth. Then he did the thing I didn't let myself predict. He let his forehead rest against mine for one careful beat, PG-13, and amen whispered under a hospital awning while the Charles pretended to behave. A security camera above the door rotated like a cat with paperwork. We stepped apart because a tech called Park, blood products ready, and the universe likes good timing. 2 days later, City of Boston and a Mass General posted storm recap threads. Before-after shots of Blossom, a map of priority plow routes, ketone strip counts nobody believes but everyone is grateful for. The last slide was a grainy CCTV still from Lower Blossom. 2 figures under snow glow, one in orange high-vis, one in navy scrubs, foreheads inclined 1 heartbeat. The caption read, "Small, honest, enough." Evan texted the link and then, "Dinner?" "Always," I wrote. "Good," he said. "Because I am." We ate kimchi jjigae and brown bread at a spot on Charles Street that keeps a generator like a religion. He told me about dose checks at 3 a.m. How you okay? Is a medication with no refills needed. I told him about wing angles, salt rates, and the time Thunder Snow made a rookie believe in Zeus. We didn't pick a schedule. We made a rule. When NWS says bombogenesis, we text here. When the first flake sticks to Memorial, we text me too. He keeps a spare glucose gel in my glove box because he knows I will find someone. I keep a Sharpie in his badge pouch because labels are love when you're tired. Sometimes the safest place isn't behind a snow wall or inside a policy. Sometimes it's the inch between 2 foreheads under a hospital awning while a river city relearns manners. Sometimes it's a voice on ops that says your name like a guardrail. "I'm here," I tell him when the sky rehearses another gray sentence. "Me too," he says. And Boston, stubborn, funny, and excellent at lending shovels, lets us try again.